Sports, and if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions, and it's kicking off next on Madden NFL 25.
The NFL has come to Germany as you get a look inside Deutsche Bank Park here in the bustling city of Frankfurt. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
So here's Kaimi Fairbairn to do the honors. And off we go on EA Sports. And running with power here. And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42. Great return. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
That's to the sideline and incomplete.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. And when you're dealing with those big, bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
2nd and 10. Gone. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Here's Goff. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on 1st down.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Now, we all know that an offensive coordinator and a quarterback, they're aligned at the hip. But when you've got a runner who can get you that kind of yardage, that guy's invaluable.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Montgomery on the counter. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. They'll try the air now with Goff. That'll be caught. It's St. Brown. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 34 yards. yards. And the Lions are on the board first here this afternoon. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You can have a lot to handle in this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
Defense gives up a touchdown the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. Here's Stroud. Another one caught by Collins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down.
So we just called his name on the previous snap, and they go right back to him, Charles, for a second consecutive completion.
Yeah, I think what we're discovering on this drive is that he feels like he has answers no matter what defense you throw up there. He reads it, finds the open spot, and is available for the completion.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. On the ground, this is Joe Mixon. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice, dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds all the way down inside the 15.
A huge play there for Houston. 41 yards.
A very early momentum changer there. Actually a dream killer for the defense because they forced a 3rd down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with that big play.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. What good hands there defensively. It's 2nd down.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Now a 2nd and 10. Stroud to throw it.
And he wisely will throw that one away. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying, No more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
Throwing now is Stroud.
They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. They run for it with Mixon, going absolutely nowhere. He'll wind up losing a yard or 2. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And that will force a turnover on downs. So their first drive of the game already trailing, having given up points. But a little surprised that they went for it, right?
Maybe the big guy, the head coach, senses this is going to be a shootout type of a game, that they've got to match them point for point as opposed to, hey, we'll get them later. Maybe he just has that sense, and that's why he decided to go for it there.
From his goal line here, Goff.
He's got right on the short throw.
And he'll get this up to right around the 8-yard line. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Now it's Goff. Throw to St. Brown, complete on the left side.
And he will step out of bounds, but not before he's all the way across the 50.
A big play there for Detroit. 44 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 48-yard line. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a 1st down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Now 2nd and 9.
And they'll send the tight end in motion.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down.
Gets through and now an opening. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away.
And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. And last time they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position we were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Inside handoff to Mixon. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Stroud looking to throw. Throw right side, taken in by Collins. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away.
And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line.
The Lions offense and receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown set to go once more. And he's had an early impact on the game. Sensational so far. And they'll likely be looking to find more ways to get him involved. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 25 yards that time.
This is going to be a corner route to their tight end, and I'll tell you what, it's man coverage, so that makes it hard for a linebacker to stay with him. And he's able to make the catch on the right side of the field and pick up the first down.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 41. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Here's Goff.
Oh, short pass here taken in by Laporta.
And he's going to be down at the 35. Gain of 7.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Goff now to throw.
This one swung out to Montgomery.
And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans 19. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Speed is the name of the game when it comes to RPOs, and sometimes you can be a little too quick, thus inaccurate, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Goff.
This to Laporta, right side.
And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Goff now looking to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10.
And the Lions are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll run with Montgomery. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
That's Foley Fatukasi into the backfield with ease and making the stick for a loss.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Lions with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter. As they come up now, 2nd and goal.
They try again with Montgomery. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. 7 big yards on the carry there to get him within range of the goal line with 3rd down upcoming. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
And that is incomplete. Blanketed coverage by Houston. Makes it 4th down.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Bates' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down. Nothing too fancy, just a carry up the middle, but a successful carry up the middle against this 3-4 defense.
And to be able to do that, what do you have to control? The nose guard, right? Got to be able to move him. Otherwise, you're not getting anything up the middle. Nice job by the center. Got a little help from one of his friends playing guard.
Eluding the pressure right. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a 1st.
Now Stroud.
That's complete. It's Collins. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. They had 3 tight ends in on that set, and they were really good at blocking for their running back.
And give them a lot of credit because in football nowadays, tight ends coming out of college often don't block very often. These guys have really developed into superior blockers, and that's why they use them in this formation so often.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
And Stroud now to throw.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And the Texans are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that's definitely on their heels now because they gave up the running play for good yardage 1 play ago. Now the pass here sets this offense up 1st and goal. They're going to have to dig in strong now because they've been in retreat so far on this drive. This offense on the march.
Mixon diving for the end zone, and he is in. Touchdown.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there.
Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Jalen Petrie coming up to bring him down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
Now 2nd and 5.
Back to the ground, this time Montgomery.
And he'll get about 3 up close to the 35.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
St. Brown in motion right.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff.
A little short pass here taken in by Laporta.
And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit.
Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Diggs going in motion right.
And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
From the 25, here's 2nd down and 2.
Man open left side is Brown. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Here's 3rd and a few inches. And they'll go play action here with Stroud. That is caught.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And that goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Mixing up the middle. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Stroud. Quick slant to Brown.
Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And 3rd and 1 now. In motion left goes a tight end. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up.
And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line.
A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the two tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Back to Mixon on first down. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
2nd down and 8.
They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Two minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. There they'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Looking to throw. Stroud. Steps away to his left. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown.
C.J. Stroud.
A 12-yard touchdown run. And the Texans have taken the lead. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? But I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told.
And it was C.J. Stroud who finished off that drive with the touchdown run.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. Detroit's offense ready to take over. As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
2 yards to go, 2nd down.
Here's Goff. His throw incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Here's Goff.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Off play action. Here's Goff.
Open man is Raymond. He's got it.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
If you run an out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
To the air again. Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back to throw, Goff. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit.
Amon-Ra St. Brown
With his second touchdown here in this first half.
And the Lions will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. That could be an important swing right there. A touchdown in the final minute of the half to take the lead.
And I like the point you just made there. Could be an important swing because now that they have the lead, if they can carry that into the locker room at the half, they'll feel really good about what they accomplished in the first 2 quarters.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field.
They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not through any fault of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
Stroud to throw it.
This will be caught once again by Brown. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed it up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
Throwing now is Stroud. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
And down here, 1st and goal, if it's not there, don't force it. You've got at least 2, if not 3 more shots at it. So that's a wise move to get rid of it.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
Here's Stroud.
And he's got it. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Noah Brown as the first half is winding down.
And the Texans have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half.
So they're able to capture the lead here just before halftime.
And not only that, they get the ball to start the second half.
That's right.
This is almost like basketball down the stretch, right, where you get the 2-for-1 situation where you try and get 2 shots to your opponent's 1. In this situation, they got the touchdown. They'll get another shot at to start the second half.
Could be a big turnaround. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that will make this a 4-point game. Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And an anxious moment or 2 there, but they do get him down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. Now Goff. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Montgomery. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. The final shot before break here. Goff. He's going to float this one deep right side. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Derek Stingley picks it, and he will be out of bounds with no time remaining on what will be the final action of this first half.
It was Joe Mixon who had it working in the first half. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break. Both of these offenses had their share of high points in that first half. Each team had some big moments, and it would seem this could turn out to be a game where the last score wins.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point.
It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Texans going to take over here to start quarter number 3. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Mixon with a first down carry. Sheds off the tackle, and he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
It's another first down as this time they get an even 20.
Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles. Gain some additional yardage.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. Got a man. It's Collins complete.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that's going to bring up second down. Here's a give to Mixon. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. On 3rd down, Mixon. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
If you're looking for glory, looking to get your name in the headlines, you do not want to play nose tackle. But how about what we just saw there? The ability to hold people up, take on extra blocks, and actually slip them and make a tackle on that play. That's big time.
Now, the offense failed earlier on the previous crack at this, but they're going again on 4th down. They'll run with Mixon. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down. So he needed 1. He ended up getting 3.
And I really like the way he ran that one, too. That's really intelligent running because oftentimes A running back could get too greedy. Try and hit the home run on a play where you just need a few yards. Well done there, making sure you got the first down and not worrying about trying to get a touchdown.
It's complete to Brown, right side. Just a gain of a couple there. And that will bring up second down.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
A shotgun snap to Stroud. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a third down.
And when you're in a one-score game in the second half, now's not the time to force the football in the places where you shouldn't. And that's a smart decision to just get that one out of there.
Out of the huddle now for play number 9 on this drive. This is third down and 8.
Stroud looking to throw.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Dalton Schultz, a 15-yard touchdown grab.
And the Texans take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all.
And it was the tight end Dalton Schultz on the touchdown reception to cap the drive.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Lions offense and Jared Goff set to take over once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a 2-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out. Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give them a lot of confidence to help turn things around.
Back to Montgomery on second down.
And oh, this Texans defense, they're all charged up now. They stop him behind the line for the second straight play. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs.
And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a fourth down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
The Texans offense and running back Joe Mixon set to take over once more. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of the halftime talk for this defense. We've got to find a way to slow him down. That's probably what they're saying. But nothing that they have done has worked so far.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on second down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4.
Back to throw. Stroud. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Stroud. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A gain of 32 that time.
Another big play right there, and this is where, as an offense, you can really put the hammer down. You've got a double-digit lead, but those other guys, they've been hanging around. A touchdown here could put this game out of reach, and that's a strong step towards getting it done.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10, down at the 33. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Forced out to his left. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
So from the 26-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. Now Stroud.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
102 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Stroud working out of the gun.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
That's a big force incompletion there to bring up 3rd and long, and this defense can still salvage a little momentum by forcing them to kick a field goal, because just a few plays ago, they looked like they were headed towards the end zone.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
And Stroud now to throw. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
So 2 3rd down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a 3rd, and now they deal with 4th down.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
Fairbairn able to put this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
And just shutting him off there.
And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Lions offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, And that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. That's to the tight end, Laporta. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
Play action. It's Goff.
A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5.
From the gun, here's Goff. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Khalif Raymond was the intended target.
And it's 3rd and 5. Goff. And this is going to be incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The football going back over now to the Houston Texans. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Throwing quickly, that's caught by Brown out wide. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. A handoff to Mixon, and shedding through the tackle. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line.
112 yards rushing here for Mixon. He's got a first down.
So right now what I'm seeing an offense is just firing off the ball a lot quicker than they can react. And not only that, they're sustaining the blocks too. I'm seeing guys get 6-7 yards downfield before there's even a hint of contact.
He's got Brown on the out route complete.
And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Play action. Here's Stroud. Open man is Jordan, the tight end.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Stroud.
A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Again, it's Stroud.
And that's incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Now it's Mixon running right. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
He'll make a break for it.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw.
And that one too wide and incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Stroud to throw it.
And Diggs has it. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a 2-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
117 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the 4th quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
The slot man in motion right. Once again, they run with Mixon. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now. That's not the first time they've gone his way on this drive, and they were obviously keyed into him because they were there to help break that pass up.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Throwing now is Stroud.
Flushed out right. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting this sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. This to make it a 3-score game late. The kick by Fairbairn is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
Well, you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Well, this offense and their wideout headed back onto the field. And he's looking to finish strong. He has been the star of the show as they have just had absolutely no answers for him defensively. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Here's Goff. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Open man is Raymond. He's got it.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Gone. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll make it second down. Goff now to throw.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Goff now looks to throw.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. The tight end in motion right. Desperation time for Goff on 4th. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
Now, you know I don't often have sympathy for quarterbacks, but in this situation, I don't know what else he could do. 4th down, so he can't just throw the ball away. He's got to find a way to try and make a play, but the pressure ended up getting to him.
Pressure got to him. Really big sack and a turnover here on downs.
They show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down.
Inside handoff to Mixon.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. 139 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. 1st down, 4th quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, Why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
Back to Mixon on second down.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, it can go for a touchdown. But the runs that really make it work are the ones where you just get what you need, right? And he barely got the first down, but he got it.
They'll give it to Mixon. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston.
Joe Mixon.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Texans are able to widen their advantage.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And a drive that stalled out last time. Went for it on 4th, didn't get it. How does that translate here? I would imagine momentum's with the defense.
Definitely with the defense, because anytime anyone goes for it on 4th down, that's telling you as a defense that you can't stop us. We don't think that you can. And when you actually do, that may put a little dent in the confidence of the offense the next time they hit the field.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bring that pride, the offense, this go-around.
2nd down and 3.
Here's Goff.
Throw caught by Raymond.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Back to throw, Goff.
That is caught by Laporta. And he'll be touched down to the end, but a big play on that one.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And good yardage there on 1st down because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
To the air again, Goff. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
To throw is Goff.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Here's Goff. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 6. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
Now Goff. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown.
Khalif Raymond
There to make the grab.
And the Lions are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Oh, such great concentration there, going right up against the side of the end zone, but able to get the feet in bounds.
There's so many things that go into that catch, and you just mentioned the concentration, being able to catch the football, get your feet down in bounds, hang on to it all the way through the process of the catch. That was a phenomenal play.
Goff looking to throw. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And they've got it. They recovered it. Wait, hang on now, though. There's a penalty flag down.
Yeah, you got to wait until that ball goes 10 yards. They did not. They hit it before, and that draws the flag every time.
And there's no doubt in my mind that converting an onside kick has never been tougher in the NFL with the new rules. So trying to get it to 10 yards, timing up perfectly, that's tough enough to begin with. But when you go ahead and grab it before it goes, you got no shot then.
And he'll be converged on quickly. Maybe gets a yard out of that. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down.
Stroud looking to throw.
That is caught. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It's a pickup of 6. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here's a fake on the jet sweep and a run up the middle with Mixon.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
When you try to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. So long, everybody.